I'm going to try to talk about trade as a part of our relations with other countries, kind of how they see us through this prism, and also our responsibilities in this area as the most powerful and richest country in the world. In 1990, December of 1990 and January of 1991, after I had already arrived back in Oklahoma, but was still in the State Department, President Bush father asked me if I would go to Latin America, to South America, heading up an interagency mission to talk with presidents of 5 countries and with their ministers about trade and development. And so I went to those countries. I met with each of the presidents and with their key ministers for these portfolios for these areas. And it was very interesting to me because each of the presidents said to me in words that were almost identical. They said, "All right, Mr. Ambassador, we appreciate the President sending you here to obtain our views. But this is what we would like to say to you. We got into the market, did away with statist economies and opened up our economies, and beginning really in the mid-1970s. And we made a commitment to elected, accountable governments. We moved in these directions that you wanted. Now we've done what you wanted us to do in terms of our markets and trade barriers and so forth. When are you going to do the same thing? When are you going to allow the products, particularly agricultural goods and other types of materials of manufacturing, to enter your market in the way that we lowered our tariffs to let you enter our market?" Now, here we are today. I guess the Doha Qatar round of the World Trade Organization began in, what, 2003? I think that's right. And then we had a meeting at Cancun, and in the launching of what we call the development round of the World Trade Organization, the United States took the lead. And we said this is going to be the development round. We're going to try to make things better for the poorer and developing nations of the world. And the one thing that was very important to them was access to our market. Well, that fell apart the next year at Cancun when they had a meeting and we and the Europeans rejected the proposals to try to modify the way that we take care of our people in the rural areas and to open up the markets a bit. And we're still talking about it today. Here we are, I guess it's 2001 for Doha and then Cancun. And if you go and you talk with Latin Americans today, or you go and talk with other people, they'll tell you the same thing. This is what we're talking about, how they can get access to our market. I would say that I've served in Latin America, I've served in Asia. In the last, since 2000, I've spent a lot of time and done projects in the Middle East. But the way that we're regarded today is not too well. And part of it relates to things like this. That, in our relations with other countries, this idea of trade and fairness and access is extremely important. Now, in the 1970s, there was a remarkable thing that took place in Latin America. It really moved from dictatorships to more accountable governments. And the sourness and so forth that really resulted from our overselling the market and not having enough emphasis on creation of institutions and agencies that might help control and regulate the market. And the failure then of the measures that they took to make a better life for more of their people has really resulted in a backlash. And it's accountable for such things as we were talking about today, Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, and the new 21st century socialism, which is really kind of a form of populism. So this trade issue is a life and death issue with a lot of people. And there are a lot of things that I would like to say. I think maybe just kind of stop there. Maybe we'll open up some things. We're very concerned, of course, about our own people and displacement of jobs. And the real, and those are legitimate and deep and important concerns. But the real answer to that is competitiveness. And the real answer to competitiveness, as has already been mentioned by some of our other panelists, is more than almost anything else education. And how we train our people and how we take care of them health-wise. We don't compete today because we don't have a national health system. That's one of the major factors on why our competitiveness has gone down. My time is up. I'll throw some things out there that maybe will provoke some questions and so forth during the answer period. I never thought I could cover all these things, but